You're beginning to get the idea, Clark. We could have changed the world. Now, look at us. I've become a political liability, and you're a joke. I want you to remember, Clark, in all the years to come, in all your most private moments, I want you to remember my hand at your throat. I want you to remember the one man who beat you. So, I'm kind of a nerd, even though I really don't like calling myself that. And two of my three favorite franchises are Batman and Star Trek. The other is Fooly Cooly, but we won't get into that today. My love for Batman and Star Trek are both rooted in my early childhood. Some of my earliest memories are of watching reruns of the original Star Trek series with my mom. And although I was too young to appreciate it for all the reasons that I do now, I was a fan of The Next Generation from the moment it aired. I also remember many afternoons spent in my room watching the Batman series with Adam West, and completely falling in love with a three-part comic book series called The Untold Legends of the Batman that I got from the back of a cereal box, I think. And like Star Trek, the reasons that I like Batman so much now were mostly lost on me at the time, but I still really like them, and my fondness for them followed me into adulthood. Things that I like so much now about both franchises are actually quite similar. They both offer a glimpse of a better world. Well, not so much a better world with Batman, but at least a better person. Batman fights to end injustice, corruption, and oppression, but he has a strict moral center that separates him from the unjust, the corrupt, and the oppressors. He won't kill anyone, and he hates guns. Star Trek portrays the moral characters on a much larger scale, an interstellar scale in fact. It shows us not just a whole world, but a whole federation of worlds that have virtually eliminated poverty, warfare, hatred, and intolerance. A world where the accumulation of wealth is no longer the driving force in people's lives, and people work to better themselves and the rest of humanity. These are all things that I really appreciate now as an adult, and I'd like to say that they're the primary reasons that I like the franchises. But they're really not. I liked both long before I cared about or even understood such deep moral issues. Of course, the reason I liked them back then doesn't necessarily have to be the same reason that I like them now. There are shows and things that I did like as a child that I don't care for now. But the fact is that my love for Batman and Star Trek have been constant for a long time, while my opinions on killing, guns, greed, corruption, war, and socioeconomic ideology were mostly formed in my adulthood. Which really makes me wonder sometimes. Do I like Star Trek and Batman as an adult because of how I feel about the world? Or are Star Trek and Batman the reason that I feel the way I do about the world? I like to think of myself as a wise, enlightened individual, that my ideas on peace and equality are revolutionary, and that I could make the world a better place because I'm such a good guy. But what if it's just because I'm a dork, and my entire worldview is just me emulating what I see in comic books and sci-fi movies? There are great visionaries in our world and throughout history who envision, independently, a better world for humanity, and things we can all do to improve the lives of everyone, without having to be influenced to have these ideas. Does it really matter if I'm not one of those people? My intentions are good, but does it make me less of a good person if I have to be told by men with laser guns and bat costumes that killing is wrong and humanity needs to unite to end poverty and suffering? To be fair, there are people who like Batman and Star Trek who do not have such noble ideas about the world, but I really think this just shows how much media influences reality. Fiction can have just as much, if not more, of a powerful influence on how we view the world around us than facts can sometimes. Visionaries are great, but they're powerless unless they're able to convince the world to follow them. And sometimes it takes a flashy TV show to convince people, or a man in a bat suit. Thank you to everyone who offered input and support for my idea for an anti-heroin charity show for Project for Awesome. It really looks like this is going to be a thing, but we still have a lot of work to do. Raise $0 on the Indiegogo campaign, and the main thing that the money that I raise there is going to determine is where the show's going to be, so that's kind of a big thing. I haven't settled on a charity yet either. I've been in contact with two groups, but I've also heard disreputable things about those two groups. I've been attempting to research the validity of those claims, but if anyone has another option, I'm all ears. But I have gotten a yes or at least a maybe from a few other bands, so it's happening, folks. Yay! Please watch episode 13 or episode 9 for more information, and click on the links below to find out more about Project for Awesome and to donate money to my campaign. And feel free to share this or any of those videos or links, and come back next week.